about condemnation statements, and the aid will be delivered to Assad regime. Will go to Damascus airport, and from Damascus airport it will go to the stores of Syrian armed forces, of Syrian army. And what's the outcome of that one? The outcome is more aid to the wrong hand. I would say something which is very sad actually, and I'm very sad and always to remember this one, when one of the UN officials spoke about a whole Syrian generation to be lost. When we speak about 6 million or 7 million kids and children below the age of 18, we're talking now about this generation who lost education for a couple of years, and they say they definitely far away from education now. And we're talking about a generation to be lost, and the nation to be lost later on. So lots of things to be done actually, but I would say, unfortunately, as this talk in order was the last talk in this meeting, it is the fact that the humanitarian stuff always the last item on the agenda of the meetings of superpowers. And this is always the outcome of these political discussions and military interventions, and civilians have always to pay the high cost. Have to pay the high cost, and they've been paying this one until they go to a corner where they have to say, I want to be killed now. And they've said that many times. When we look at the escalation of power and atrocity in Syria over 3 years, from machine guns to tanks to air force to chemical weapons, ballistic missiles, and finally food and water. Food, water, medicine, electricity now are the weapons to put more regions and regions under siege and put people on their knees, saying for this regime, I just need now to leave the country. I just need now to escape. I just need to evacuate more and more regions in Syria. And that's the case actually. I would ask a question here about how much superpowers did really and in reality to help Syrian people. And I would say the answer, if they want to help, they would help. When we look at the UN Security Council resolution 2139, talking about humanitarian aid, there's no mechanism at all to impose that aid. What's the point to urge Syrian government and other partners in Syria for humanitarian aid? And you do not put a mechanism to achieve that one. It's meaningless, definitely. It's just like any statement. It's similar to a statement done by NGO to say that Syrian government has to do this and that. Syrian government using food and medicine to kill people. This is the truth. I can't say, as I'm working in charity stuff, I have to be neutral. What's the meaning of neutrality when you see people killed and you don't have any corridors or passages to deliver that aid? Neutrality is the truth. Neutrality is to say the fact. As Tan says, when we have the Red Crescent organization in Syria controlled by the government, and it's semi-governmental organization. This is again a question. I'm going to just finalize with a last sentence to say the Syrian people have been paying the high cost from their souls, from their memories, from their beloved people there, but they're going to win sooner or later. And one day, all of us will be accountable to what we did to these people. There's always more responsibility and the higher responsibility on the shoulders of any and every free man in this world. And when they need to do something, they can definitely do something. And this is an invitation here for British government actually to have better dialogue with Syrian UK-based charities. I would like to stop here, as I know it's very late now, but more to be provoked in further discussion.
As the saying goes, if there is a will, there is a way. Unfortunately, too much said, but little done so far. I was actually going to just mention, before we finish, that we have sent invitations to over 45 MPs to attend this event. Well ahead before this event, several weeks before, we didn't have a single positive response. But thanks to Mr. Robert and to Sarah, as well as our respected guests who came tonight and enriched this event. I would like also to, I was going to talk to Professor Farouk Nahas, who's our neurosurgery at the Aleppo University, who just came back from the south of Turkey, and he told me over the phone, when I spoke to him, that he was seeing over 70 people every day with different injuries and different medical problems. Dr. Farouk, thank you very much. Big round of applause for Dr. Nahas. If you want to say anything, you are free to say that before we conclude.
Thank you, Dr. Najjar. I went to the Syrian-Turkish border with hope. I went as a volunteer in the surgery. I went there full with hope. I came back full with sadness. There are a lot and a flooding number of patients from inside Syria. They are civilian. They are mostly, vast majority of women, children, and elderly patients. There was no fighters in these and those patients. The medical service inside Syria has been collapsed. No doctors, no medicine. All the first aid work now done by nurses, medical students, and young doctors, because nobody else will do it. The last sentence I would say, a few days before I came here, a school being bombed, and one of the students, after we've done surgery for his, removed some metal pieces from his head. When he awoke next day, he said, "Doctor, I've asked you, why Assad bombing my school?" I have no answer. I looked at him with eyes full with tears. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone. I would like to give special thanks to our respected panel members who took the time and effort to come here and talk to us about the Syrian crisis despite their busy schedule, and of course special thanks to Mr. Torikadman who left earlier. On behalf of the Syrian Parliamentary Affairs Group, I would like to thank you, everyone who come and attend this event, and we hope that we will continue to work for Syria and the Syrian people, and we hope to do more successful meetings. And we would like to emphasize the importance that we, as Syrian British residents in this country, to meet up with the officials that are involved with the Syrian crisis. Take an example, the International Development Minister, Mrs. Justine, sorry, I forgot the gardening or greening. And we would like to take a promise from you, Mr. Roberts, that you would arrange a meeting with Mrs. Greening if that's possible. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and hope to see you again soon. Thank you.